morning, you guys. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a jam-packed day in the life. I feel like normally when I film these, I'm just like, I don't really know what we're gonna get up to today. We're just chilling at home, maybe do some crafts. But today the schedule is busy and it's all fun, exciting stuff. So I am really excited to take you guys along with me. The first thing we're doing is actually going to the state fair, and we're just gonna go for a couple of hours so that the kids can ride some rides. We wanted to do this on a weekday. So Matt took a half day, my in-laws are coming, and they're gonna stay with the kids a little bit longer because I have to come home for a very exciting meeting. And if you caught the Easter egg in my last vlog, you might know what this is about, but I'm sure I'll tell you more later. But like, I have butterflies just thinking about it. I am so excited. Before we go, Matt is grabbing us some of this blueberry crumble that I made with the very last blackberries of the season. We had such a huge harvest this year. I made 2 of these. I made 3 jars of jam. We ate a bunch fresh, but I am so looking forward to eating this. Like, how good does that look? So good. I have to remember to write down this recipe. I'll try to put it in my Patreon because it's kind of a conglomeration of a bunch of different recipes that I've tested out, and I've found this to be the move. All right, let's go to the fair. I'm really having a moment right now. We were having so much fun at the fair that I really didn't want to leave earlier than everyone else. I just like wanted to stay and keep hanging out with my fam. So I decided to take this meeting in the car, and I'll tell you what it is in a second. But first I just have to acknowledge the fact that I forgot keys. And thankfully the trunk was unlocked and I had to crawl through the trunk to get up here. So I'm starting this meeting feeling very professional, which is good because this is a meeting with Stephanie Meyer's marketing agency because I am publishing my book. I can't believe I can say that out loud. That is bananas. I am freaking out. It is by far my favorite thing that I've ever created, like work-wise, not including my children. Yeah, I am putting it out into the world after a year of writing and rewriting and beta readers and developmental editors. It's finishing up in line and copy editing right now, so I don't have an exact date for you guys yet, but I can say that it will be soon, like a lot sooner than I thought that it could be. And I am just freaking so stoked and excited to get the story into your hands. It's called The Crown Prophecy. If you haven't heard me talk about this before, it's a romantasy where the main character is a baker. So it's got like some cozy vibes, but also high stakes. We've got our dark-haired, sarcastic love interest, lots of banter happening. I am out of my mind nervous to take this meeting for obvious reasons, but I'm gonna do it because, you know, do the scary thing. You just gotta do the scary thing. Here goes nothing. Hi, how are you?
Good, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. I did the thing. We just talked for over half an hour, and I am really excited to work with them. I feel like I came away from that with a lot of ideas, and I am proud of myself for doing it because that was legitimately scary. Like the imposter syndrome, going into meetings with people that are like really successful and work with people who are really successful like that, sometimes gets me because I'm like, well, who am I to think, you know, that I can do this? But then looking at it, I'm like, Megan, you've been writing since you were 9 years old. You have an English literature degree. Like, chill out and just do your thing, you know? It's not rocket science. So anyways, that's my little strange way to go for the day. I am proud of myself for doing this scary thing. And I'm gonna go reward myself by doing the fun thing and hanging out more with my kids. I probably won't vlog anymore at the fair just because I feel like at a certain point you've seen all the things. So I'll see you guys at home in probably like 2 hours. We are back from the fair. I'm snacking on some figs, which I was so excited to find this late in the season. I need to check into work to see what has come up in my inbox in the last few hours since we've been gone. So I'm gonna get the boring stuff out of the way first, and then I have a little DIY for us to do that I'm really excited about. Okay, so I do have a new DIY to do with you guys, but can we just take a second while we're in the office to give it up for this straw witch hat that I made? I am so obsessed with it. There's a full tutorial on my Instagram, and I think it might be my new favorite Halloween decoration. Now that I'm all caught up on work, I'm going to do a little DIY. And I have to say a huge thank you to Cricut for working with me again on today's video. Matt and I were just talking about this the other day, but I feel like when the kids were like 0 to 1, I spent so much time intentionally journaling and creating their baby books and saving all of the memories in a tangible place. And then they turned 1 and like, I haven't done much since. Obviously I have like a lot of photos and videos of my kids, which I love, but I wanted a physical place for some memories of them to live, and specifically a place to write down all of the hilarious things they say, because I have a little Notion board and I'll share a couple funny quotes with you that I want to remember forever. A little over a year ago, on July 2nd, 2023, we were at a baseball game and Rowan held his hand up to his mouth to call down to the players on the field and said, "Keep him safe!" I'm overwhelmed because I don't want to eat yucky things. So that is why I will not eat bees. Kids just say the funniest stuff, and occasionally I remember to write them down, but there's only like 3 entries after that. And I want a physical place to do that, that I can even turn into an heirloom, and we can like look at it together when they're older and they can read, and then I can pass it down to them and use it to roast them in any speeches that I give at their future weddings. So I picked up these 2 linen notebooks from Amazon. They were not very expensive, which was great, and they look like they're gonna be really, really pretty. I'm a sucker for a cloth bound book. It just screams heirloom to me. So I got this one, which is like a grayish brown, and I got this beige one, and they're pretty cute on their own, but I want to personalize them for each kid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Cricut to create silhouette art. I've shown you guys how to do this before, but I will take you through the process again because I need to do an updated one for Rowan. And then we're gonna use Cricut's Everyday Iron On to iron on the silhouette, and then like a little phrase at the bottom. I'm thinking something like funny things you say, or times you made me laugh, or something like that. And then we will put their names on the spine. So to get started, I have to design the little silhouette. So let's go get my iPad. So this is what we're going for. I did these when Juniper was like somewhere in between 6 and 9 months, and Rowan was 2. So they need to be updated. So I took this picture of Rowan today, just a side profile, and airdrop it to my iPad. Sneak peek of chapter heading designs that I was sketching out. And the app I'm using is called Procreate. I am just opening up a blank square canvas, and I'm going to insert that photo, resize it until it's how I want it to be. And then here is the crucial thing, and the thing that I often forget to do, is you gotta start a new layer so that you can erase this one without erasing what you're drawing on top of it. I like to use like the blobby smooth pencil. You can also do this on your phone. I believe Procreate has a phone app. And I am just going to go through and outline his sweet little silhouette. Making my brush even smaller for all of the detail work, because I think one of the things that makes this the cutest is when you can actually do like a little bit of their hair shape, like have some strands and stuff coming out, because it just makes it look so much more realistic. Connect the two so that there's no holes, and I can drag and drop the color to fill the shape, and then unselect that bottom layer, and I have a perfect little silhouette of my boy. How cute is that? I'm gonna make sure I deselect the background and then save it as a PNG to preserve that transparency. And then I'm just going to repeat the process with Juniper. Also, This is me. But it took me a second to realize that. Okay, so now I'm gonna measure the design area. I'm thinking like 3 by maybe up to 5, including the text. Doing these like every 6 months or so for my kids will forever be my favorite because you can just watch them grow, and I'm emotional, but look, she's getting so big. So I'm gonna start a new project, and I'm just popping these into Design Space. And this is just a single layer. I'm gonna add that in there, and I'm gonna resize it to that 3-inch width, and the program will automatically adjust the height for me. Same thing here. Cricut has a really nice font library as well, even in the free section. And I love how easy this software is to use. Now I'm gonna go with gold iron-on for this because I think that's gonna be just a really pretty timeless look. And I've been using this a ton. I've been making like custom editing copies of my novel to motivate me as I keep editing. And this stuff works really well for that. Look how pretty. All right, I messed with the sizing a little bit, and I actually ended up with the silhouettes a little bit smaller. I think I like that better. And while I weed this, which is always the most satisfying part, I thought I would talk to you guys about like some motherhood stuff, because I feel like you've probably noticed that I haven't been sharing my kids on my channel as much. That's just what's feeling right for our family right now. But obviously motherhood is still a huge part of my life. I mean, the majority of my life, really. And I feel like this season is really changing for us, which is crazy. I find myself in just like this period of really delighting in my kids. And I always love my kids, but there have been periods where I haven't necessarily been able to say that I've been like delighting in them on a regular basis, because parenting's hard, man. But now Juniper's 2, Rowan's 4, and we're at this point where like I'm not changing diapers anymore, and they are like the best of friends, and they love playing together. So they'll like lay together for a half an hour at a time, and I can like do stuff. And the whole situation is just wild because it feels like it's gonna be forever when you're in it. When you're in the depths of that like 2 under 2, or like 2 and under in our case. We missed the 2 under 2 cutoff by, funnily enough, 2 weeks. It just feels like, I guess life is always gonna be this hard now. And like, it's hard in different ways, I guess. But overall, I definitely think it's easier. I feel like not having to change diapers and have like 24/7 attention on the kiddos is magical and life-changing, and it's just given me so much more room and space to enjoy them, because I'm not constantly at my wit's end like, what are you doing? Put that down, don't put that in your mouth. And I'm just like loving it. I'm just really loving motherhood right now. And it's funny because I feel like I have not been sharing as much of it, and that's also probably why I'm enjoying it so much. But it's been game-changing. So if any of you have been kind of wondering where the light at the end of the tunnel is, for us, when Juniper turned 2, that was like a major turning point. That was big. And it just feels like it's made everything so much easier for both of us, really, especially because we both work and all that comes along with that. And it's just so much easier to do now. We can do more things as a family. The wake windows are longer, so we're not like trying to be home for multiple naps. And then I haven't been breastfeeding for like a year, so that's a whole part of it. And it just feels like it's gotten easy, knock on wood. But I don't know, I think this just might be a season that's a little bit easier, and I'm sure, you know, we'll get our fair share of hard seasons. I can already hear the comments being like, just wait till they're teenagers, which I'm excited for. I'm sure we'll get, you know, our fair share of other challenges, but I am just enjoying where we're at right now, and it feels very well earned after the last couple of years, which have been amazing and so special, and I wouldn't trade them for the world, but hard, like undeniably hard. Like having toddlers is just, and having multiple toddlers is just rough. And I think that it's hard for everyone. I mean, I don't know any unicorns who thought that being a toddler parent was just like super easy. But
But yeah, I just wanted to share that in case any of you guys needed a little bit of hope and joy. My kiddos are my best friends and they're each other's best friends, and it's just like the best thing in the world. Finally got my hands on one of these little Easy Press minis, and look, it's just like the tiniest little iron just for craft. I have the big one and I love it, but this is gonna be easier to just like pull out for small things like this. And voila! These are so stinking cute. I am obsessed. I love that their little silhouettes are on it. I just feel like I can see myself writing in these for years and years, and one day when they're teenagers and they're saying sassy things and then I'm writing them down, I'll be looking at these little silhouettes on the front, remembering how small they used to be. All the feelings. I'll link all the stuff I used to do this DIY down in the description in case you want to try it. And honestly, catch me putting these silhouettes on everything now. Like, we already have a bunch of art with these in our house, and I'm thinking t-shirts. I'm thinking maybe I'll try to engrave a little necklace situation. I love them so much. Okay, I haven't forgotten about the fact that I told you guys I would do a little favorites segment in a vlog every couple of months. I've been trying to gather stuff up slowly. I'm like in the whole process of decluttering my house. If you know, you know. And I'm trying to bring less stuff in than I declutter, but I am at the point where I finally feel like I have enough things to talk about to warrant a little favorites moment. So first thing, biggest thing that I'm obsessed with, I am so gutted that I absolutely smudged the label, are these candles from Wax Crescent. I got these on the Choose app. And I got a few of them. So the cardamom and cream is my favorite, maybe my favorite candle I've ever smelled. Like, I ordered one and then I immediately ordered more before the sale was over on the Choose app, because I was like, I'm gonna burn through this and then want more. But I also got this one, which is red apple and cinnamon. And then I got pumpkin and spiced cream, which I think Matt absconded with to the game room. They're just so good, and they're soy wax, which I love. The other thing I got recently on the Choose app that I am obsessed with is this little set from this Spanish brand called Rory, R-O-U-R-I. And it's like lounge wear, but I'm honestly wearing it as an outfit because what a vibe. I will say it does run small. I should have sized up to a medium in the shorts, but just look at this little blue floral pattern. I have already worn this. I don't know why the tag is still on it. Does anybody else do that? Is that just a me thing? I get so apprehensive and nervous about taking off tags, even when I know I'm gonna keep something and I love it and I wear it. And then I have one other clothing, I don't even know if I would call this a favorite so much as a find, because I haven't worn it yet, but I want to tell you guys about it because I found these at Costco for $30. You know you're an adult when the Costco like clothing section starts to look real good, but I've been in need of like a medium weight jacket, something that's like not a hoodie, but is not like a full long wool coat. And I found these from Columbia at Costco for $30. How stinking cute is this? It's like a little like half zip. It's like almost cropped, but not quite. And I got it in 2 colors. I'm only gonna keep one. So I put up a poll on Instagram and it seemed like the general winner was this one, but I don't know. I feel like this is really giving fall. It's really giving cozy. I'm not sure. My only apprehension with these is that I feel like this type of fabric gets matted pretty easily. So I will report back on how it holds up, but I just love the weight of it. Then I have a couple of food favorites. You may be sensing a theme here. I'm obsessed with cardamom. So I decided to get this cardamom coffee syrup. This is from Pink House Alchemy. You can see it's all condensated because it's been in my fridge, but I have been using this in my coffee every morning and it is so good. You could absolutely also use this for like alcoholic drinks if you wanted to, but oh, it's so cardamom-y and it's not too syrupy, if you know what I mean. Like, it is a syrup, but it doesn't taste super artificial and like, it's not like high fructose corn syrup. The only ingredients are organic pure cane sugar, filtered water, cardamom seeds, cassia chips, vanilla beans, and lactic acid. So pretty clean ingredients, and it is really good. They have a bunch of different flavors, but this is the only one I've tried, so I can only personally vouch for that one. Then my other food favorite is this Trader Joe's mochi, and it's the coffee flavor. This is actually my second pack. I've already gone through a whole one, and I am gonna eat one right now while I'm talking to you about it because they are so good. I swear Trader Joe's just like really hits the mark with mochi every single time. Like, the texture is just perfect. The size is really nice. It's like a good like 2-bite dessert. I'm gonna let it thaw for a second. And then the last favorites I have to share are all like non-physical items. They're mostly like media I've been consuming. And it's a lot of RPG content because that is what I've been consuming recently. First one is a podcast, and it is called Worlds Beyond Number. It's Brennan Lee Mulligan DMing, and the players are Abria Iyengar, Erica Ishii, and Lou Wilson, and the campaign is just so good. They did a custom witch class for Erica Ishii's character, and I'm on their Patreon, so I actually got the PDF for the witch class, and I cannot wait to play it. I need an excuse to start another campaign, but it is such good storytelling. I'm so invested in the characters. I'm like fully caught up, and I think they don't start again until October, so I'm like kind of mourning that a little bit. But I've been doing Paint and Podcast Wednesdays. So when Matt does game night with the guys, I will sit down and paint something, whether it's like a paint by number or like something ceramic from like that Target Mondo Llama section, and listen to a podcast. And it's been really good self-care. It just helps me turn my brain off. Also, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Abria Iyengar, and Lou Wilson. My next recommendation is the Misfits and Magic season of Dimension 20. For this one, they use the Kids on Bikes system, so it was a new one for me to learn because I'm only really familiar with the Dungeons & Dragons TTRPG system, but I've really been enjoying it. It's kind of like a Harry Potter parody, but more culturally sensitive, and Brennan's character in that season is just Abria DMs that one, and Brennan's a player. And then the last one is a video game. It is called Fields of Mystria, and the best way I can explain it is like, take Stardew Valley and Sailor Moon, their baby is Fields of Mystria, and it is very, very fun. I really like all of the character interactions. They're like continuous, so you can talk to them multiple times a day, and they don't just say like random one-off things. They actually have like a continuing storyline, and they'll like reference past events. They'll talk to each other and include you in the conversation. There's also a lot of like quality of life improvements from Stardew Valley, which I also love, fantastic game. But things like when you use the wrong tool to swing, it doesn't take an energy point away. You can access your crafting inventory from anywhere on the map. You don't have to like go to your trunk and get it, just little stuff like that. It's been a really, really fun play. So yeah, kind of random, very cozy. Those are all of my current favorites. The kiddos are almost home, and actually also it's almost time for me to get ready for a pottery class that I'm going to. I loved the pottery class that Matt and I did as like a little date day probably like over a year ago, but it was just a one-off that we found for super cheap on Groupon, and I've been wanting to actually learn how to do pottery, so I am taking a 6-week course. This has been on my bucket list since I was like 9 years old, and like making little dragon statues with like scrap clay at my elementary school, and I need to eat before then too. But first, I want to just really quick go through all of the most recent suggested copy edits from my editor on the book to just make sure I agree with everything that they changed. So I'm gonna try to fly through that real quick. It's mostly just like commas and stuff, so it doesn't take very long, and they only do like 10 to 30 pages at a time. So I'll look at the most recent ones of those, and then we'll go have some dinner, and then we'll go to Pottery. Costco like really popped off with these. Apparently this is like the #1 brand of gyoza in Japan, and they just turned out so well. So I'm going to devour these, and then we will head to pottery class, which I'm so excited for. Wonder what we'll be making. I just dripped it all the way down my chin. All right, let's change into something I don't mind getting clay on. That's better. I am home. That was fun. Not what I expected at all. I thought it was gonna be like a wheel throwing class, and it turns out that it's like all hand building, which I was a little bit disappointed by at first, especially because like the first thing we did was we all got in a big circle, and he was explaining to us how to do stuff, but we were like passing the piece to the next person, and I was like, oh, like I wanted to like make stuff and like be creative. But then the instructor was explaining about how that's how humans started doing pottery 30,000 years ago, and like the community of it and everybody pitching in, and it was fascinating because it was like an interesting look at my own individualization of our culture, which is like relatively new in terms of human history. So I had to like check myself there a second and be like, oh, but then we did sit down and we got to like make our own pieces. So we all made these name signs. Mine's like scalloped. It has my name on it and a little bow. I think he's gonna use it to like put each person's pieces every week in the right spot so we can all pick them up. But it was interesting and fun and a little bit eye-opening. So I also got some clay to take home, so now I get to play with this, which is very fun. It is already 8:15 p.m. and I am going to crawl into the bed to watch some Misfits and Magic with my husband. So I think I'm gonna end the vlog here, but thank you guys so much for watching and coming along on this very busy, very exciting and fun day with me. I love you guys all a lot, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.